Daring Greatly: How the Courage to be Vulnerable Transforms the Way We Live, Love, Parent, and Lead by Brené Brown. In this book, Brown explores the power of vulnerability and its impact on our relationships, work, and personal growth. She argues that by embracing vulnerability and cultivating empathy, we can lead more authentic, fulfilling lives. Brené Brown is a renowned researcher and author, who has spent over 20 years studying vulnerability, courage, empathy, and shame. She is a professor at the University of Houston Graduate College of Social Work and has been a TED speaker, a New York Times best-selling author, and a popular podcast host. Her work has been featured on numerous TV shows, including Oprah Winfrey's Super Soul Sunday. In this book, Brown draws on her extensive research and personal experiences to offer a compelling argument for the importance of vulnerability and empathy in our daily lives. She provides practical advice and strategies for cultivating these qualities, and shows how they can transform the way we live, love, parent, and lead. In this summary, we will dive deep into the main themes of the book, explore its key ideas, and provide practical tips and insights for applying them to your own life. So, let's begin our journey to discovering the power of vulnerability and empathy together. In the second chapter of Daring Greatly, Brené Brown explores the concept of vulnerability and its role in our lives. She defines vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure and explains how it is a necessary component of living a wholehearted life. Brown argues that vulnerability is not a weakness, but rather a strength. When we are willing to be vulnerable, we open ourselves up to deeper connections with others and with ourselves. By embracing vulnerability, we allow ourselves to be seen for who we truly are, which leads to greater authenticity and fulfillment. Brown provides examples of how individuals and organizations can embrace vulnerability. For example, in the workplace, she suggests that leaders should be transparent about their own vulnerabilities in order to foster trust and connection with their team members. In relationships, she encourages couples to be open and honest about their feelings and needs. In summary, the power of vulnerability lies in its ability to deepen connections and lead to greater authenticity. By embracing vulnerability, we can lead more fulfilling lives, both personally and professionally. In the third chapter of Daring Greatly, Brené Brown delves into the concept of shame and its impact on individuals and society. She defines shame as the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. Brown explains how shame is a universal human experience, but that it is often unacknowledged and misunderstood. It can manifest in different ways, such as self-doubt, perfectionism, and addiction, and can have a detrimental effect on our relationships and mental health. However, Brown also emphasizes that shame is not an inherent part of our being, but rather a learned behavior. It can be overcome by recognizing and understanding it. She suggests that one of the key ways to overcome shame is to practice vulnerability and to connect with others who have also experienced shame. Brown also highlights the connection between shame and vulnerability. She argues that when we are willing to be vulnerable, we are less likely to experience shame. On the other hand, when we are in shame, it becomes difficult to be vulnerable. In summary, shame is a universal and painful feeling that can have a detrimental effect on our lives. However, by recognizing and understanding shame, we can learn to overcome it and connect with others. And by embracing vulnerability, we can reduce the chances of experiencing shame. In the fourth chapter of Daring Greatly, Brené Brown explores the concept of empathy and its importance in our relationships and communication. She defines empathy as the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Brown argues that empathy is a crucial component of human connection and is essential for building healthy relationships. When we are able to empathize with others, we are able to understand their perspectives and feelings, which leads to greater understanding and compassion. Brown provides examples of how empathy can improve relationships, both personal and professional. In a romantic relationship, for example, she suggests that by practicing empathy, couples can better understand and meet each other's needs. In a workplace setting, she argues that leaders who practice empathy can create a more positive and productive work environment. In addition to its importance in relationships, Brown also highlights the importance of empathy in parenting. She argues that by empathizing with our children, we can better understand and respond to their needs, which leads to stronger and more resilient kids. In summary, empathy is a crucial component of human connection and is essential for building healthy relationships. By practicing empathy, we can improve our relationships, both personal and professional, and lead more fulfilling lives. And it's especially important for parenting. By empathizing with our children, we can build a stronger bond and resilient kids. In the chapter Practical Applications of Daring Greatly, Brené Brown provides specific strategies and tips for readers to apply the concepts of vulnerability, shame, and empathy in their daily lives. She breaks down how to apply these concepts in various settings such as relationships, work, and parenting. For relationships, Brown suggests being open and honest about our needs and feelings, practicing active listening, and setting boundaries. In the workplace, she encourages leaders to model vulnerability by sharing their own vulnerabilities and creating a culture of transparency and trust. For parents, she encourages empathy and vulnerability in communication with their children, which will foster trust and strengthen the parent-child bond. She also encourages readers to take small, manageable risks and to practice self-compassion. This can help build resilience and confidence in being vulnerable. Brown also provides exercises and practices to help readers develop empathy, such as practicing active listening, seeking out feedback and constructive criticism, and connecting with others who have experienced similar struggles. In addition to these practical tips, she also suggests readers to seek out further resources such as books, workshops, and podcasts to deepen their understanding and continue to apply these concepts in their daily lives. In summary, in the chapter Practical Applications of Daring Greatly, Brené Brown provides actionable tips and exercises for readers to apply the concepts of vulnerability, shame, and empathy in their relationships, work, and parenting. She also encourages readers to take small risks, practice self-compassion, and seek out additional resources to continue their personal development journey. In the conclusion of Daring Greatly, Brené Brown summarizes the main ideas presented in the book and reflects on their relevance to the reader. Throughout the book, Brown has argued that vulnerability, shame, and empathy are essential components of living a wholehearted life. She has shown how embracing vulnerability can lead to deeper connections, greater authenticity, and more fulfilling relationships. She has also discussed how shame can be overcome by recognizing and understanding it, and how empathy is crucial for building healthy relationships and fostering compassion. Brown encourages readers to take the lessons of the book and apply them to their own lives. She challenges them to be vulnerable, to practice empathy, and to overcome feelings of shame. By doing so, readers can lead more authentic and fulfilling lives. Brown also provides a call to action for readers to embrace vulnerability and cultivate empathy in their own lives. She hopes that by reading the book, readers will be inspired to take risks, be more honest with themselves and others, and connect more deeply with the people around them. In summary, the conclusion of Daring Greatly serves as a reminder of the key ideas of the book and encourages readers to apply them to their own lives. Brené Brown encourages readers to embrace vulnerability, practice empathy, and overcome feelings of shame to lead more authentic and fulfilling lives. The book concludes with a call to action for readers to take the lessons learned and make positive changes in their own lives.